Welcome to SHOT Show TV. I'm David Lombardo, and we have the pleasure now of interviewing Joe Bartozzi, the new president of the National Shooting Sports Foundation. You started in September, Joe, but you're hardly new to the industry. You were with Mossberg for 32 years. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, yeah, I started in Mossberg in 1986 as a quality engineer. So I was working out on the factory floor, designing gauges and fixtures and so forth for the process. And then over time, I took over manufacturing. I ran product service. I ran engineering for a short time. Then at night, I went to law school. During the time I was manning the factory, I went to law school at night, graduated 4 years later with a law degree and passed the bar, became general counsel for Mossberg. So over 32 years, I progressed from quality control to manufacturing to my legal profession.
So you can understand the plight of the individual worker in the corporations that really you're representing, as well as the whole overall view of running the corporation.
Absolutely. We as the NSSF represent companies, and those companies have employees. So we really, in essence, are there to protect jobs, and that's what we're really all about.
When you're with a company like Mossberg for 32 years, something drew you to the National Shooting Sports Foundation, because you had to be pretty comfortable where you were.
I was very comfortable there. It was a great company. They just celebrated their 100-year anniversary, so the family was great to me, and it was a great place to work. But having been a board member for the last 14 years of NSSF, getting to see the programs being developed and coming to fruition, working with the staff, it gave me a real respect for what they do. And yeah, it was the toughest decision I ever made, I think, to leave that company and go to NSSF. But it was an opportunity to learn and grow and advance my career in certain ways that I think wouldn't otherwise be possible.
Well, one of the interesting things, and we were talking about this before, when you work for Mossberg, it's sort of like a closed entity. I mean, you have a product line, you get familiar with what it is. There's a certain amount of, it's a homogenous sort of thing. This is more like an octopus. There's a lot of arms. We got a lot of different programs here. Is that a daunting thing?
Well, as I say, I'm drinking from the fire hose at this very moment because we have so many programs. But I try to treat it like a process, like any manufacturing process, right? There are certain elements that go into the process. You break them down to their simplest levels, and you work them to improve each one of them one step at a time. What I'm trying to do is to really, eat that elephant one bite at a time, go through it. But we do have so many of these programs. And I'm frankly just scratching the surface. So, coming into an environment like this, you have SHOT Show, for instance, which is a huge trade show, huge. There have to be challenges here. There have to be something that at night before you drop off to sleep, you go, okay, how? Right. The good news is we have a staff in Newtown and our partners here in Las Vegas that are experienced, that are dedicated, that know exactly what they're doing. That makes me sleep better, but I also draw back to my days in quality control, right? This show doesn't happen by accident. There are a million moving parts. So what we try to do is to analyze each one of those parts for the benefit of our customers, right? The attendees, the exhibitors. So we are constantly getting data, feeding back that data to our team, and making tweaks and improvements wherever they're necessary. So it is a process, start to finish, but something that I'm actually not all that unfamiliar with in terms of how to improve a process or how to work through a process.
Generally speaking, when a corporation brings in a new head, they do it because they see in you something that takes them to the next step. Do you have like a vision? Do you have thoughts in your head? Where are we going?
Well, the organization has done extraordinarily well for this industry. You could see the unprecedented growth over the years of the industry, and the NSSF has kept pace. They have been a leader in terms of legislative priorities, in terms of safety programs, offering real solutions for a whole host of things. So they were in really good shape before I came. My hope, besides not screwing it up, my hope really is to perhaps improve the communications outward facing. That is, I think NSSF is a great kept secret amongst the industry, amongst shooters, and amongst hunters. Now, granted, we don't represent individuals, but the companies, the retail outlets, the ranges, those are things that we do represent, and I think we can do, perhaps, bring our message to more people more effectively. And I think I'm going to try and do that, working with our team and perhaps using some other techniques. But we're definitely going to work in a communication forward-facing mode.
Sure. If you think about it, you're kind of the silent partner in the industry. But if the people who you represent stumble, all the shooters across the board literally stumble with them.
Right.
I mean, you support the people that do the shooting.
Believe it, we have an awesome responsibility. You know, being a trade association is not just about driving sales, although that's a very important thing. It's not just about protecting the industry through legislative efforts on Capitol Hill in DC or at every state house. That's part of it, but it's important, but it's not everything. It's about things like Don't Lie for the Other Guy, Project Child Safe, Operation Secure. So all these things that are going to help the public at large is part of what we do. So it's an awesome responsibility. We don't take it lightly, and we really do represent the jobs, right, for the industry, but also for governments that want to talk to us. We represent taxes, and they'll listen. If we go in there with a united front, with all of our almost 10,000 or 12,000 members going in there and saying, you know, we offer a lot here in terms of your communities with taxes and being a good neighbor in our communities, they'll listen. So it's an awesome responsibility, but I'm very, very excited to be part of it.
So for a company that is not a member at this point, what do they need to do?
Well, look, if you want to protect the industry, if you want to protect the shooting sports, if you want to protect the Second Amendment, you need to take a look at membership in NSSF. Our people are on Capitol Hill every day. We have an office a couple of blocks from Capitol Hill, so we have our finger on the pulse of what's happening. There are a lot of things that have not happened due to our efforts that you may never hear about, but that insiders know about. The cost of admission to NSSF is not that bad. It ought to be something you should seriously consider as a way to preserve and protect and promote the industry, but also your individual business. If you're a range operator, we have people on staff and as consultants that are experts in lead management, for example, or noise abatement, or how to run a business in general, how to create a business plan. If you're a retailer, same thing. If you're a manufacturer, we've got programs of consultants and compliance all over the country. So it's a tremendous asset to the industry, and I think one that you ought to really be seriously taking a look at.
Well, and I think you make a good point, because I have a shooting school, and there's 3 of us, and we're members in National Shooting Sports Foundation. So you don't have to be a big corporation to do this. Your membership dues are scaled down so that a small operator can get involved too.
Exactly. If you're, for example, if you're a retail member, you can start membership as low as $100 per year. I mean, and we offer, and I just did a report on this back at the office. Our benefits, our potential benefits for that $100 is worth about $10,000 in actual money if you were to take advantage of all the things that we offer. So it is an extraordinary bargain, number one. But really, if you want to be part of something bigger, if you want to be part of the industry to protect the industry moving forward and protect your livelihood and what you like to do, you ought to seriously think about coming over to NSSF and taking a look at what we offer.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. You're the right guy for the job, I'm sure.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you. That's Joe Bartozzi, who's the new president of the National Shooting Sports Foundation.